Welcome back everybody, my name is Eltimar and we are going to be continuing our Let's Play of Sunless. See, where we left off last time, we got naked with a little girl. That sounded way worse than I meant it to, but it is what happened in the game. She stole our clothes, we chased her through a forest, we fell into a bog, we killed a monkey, and we got a artifact back before returning to our ship still naked, of which we got yelled at by the, well, not yelled at, insulted and jeered at by the crew. So we're going to say all the rest of the things. There's 2 more islands to go to. Fountainhead Island. Ancient secrets peek out of the trees. Any may visit, but few Penties ever bother to make the pilgrimage. A young ancient empire. The Empire of Hands is hardly as old as they pretend, but mimicry and theft infuses their whole culture. If the Penties have come to think that rulers should be buried in ancient temples, then it is ancient temples they will build. It would hardly be the first time their attempts to mirror humanity have entirely missed the point. There is a temple in the forest. There's also a treasure hunt, but we don't have that available to us at the moment. We don't have an ancient-ish treasure map. So a temple in the forest. In a clearing of parasynthetic trees looms an imposing structure of wood and stone. The vault of the first emperor. It stretches through the forest in a number of styles, each designed by the whims of the latest Pentecost apes who felt it needed to be made grander. It would take a dedicated team to break in and uncover its secrets. Perhaps you'll bring one here later. That's really all there is here, I guess. Not a super exciting thing. We got explored the island. That's good enough, I guess. Hearthsake Island. A thin pillar of greasy yet appetizing smoke rises from the only human settlement in the Empire. The Blumenbach Quarantine. The Admiralty has never stated precisely why it seeks to keep the Empire confined, though most opposition to it fades once said oppressors actually encounter a Pentecost ape. They have been easy to corral, however. Though they do not lack wit, there is not an inventive bone in their hairy bodies, and no amount of stolen humanity has taught them the art of creating engines. Hey, a lost treasure hunter. The survivors of a pirate expedition have stolen this land where the apes are unwelcome except as an entree. Let's talk to the treasure hunter. North for each city the bats have brought down. He wipes his brow. Have you seen a big X on the ground by chance? I got these 4 map pieces that got me this far and said X would mark the spot, but I can't find it. X anywhere. He looks at the map sadly. It should be here, it says. Now where am I supposed to dig? He is too busy to talk right now, but adds that he will be in the village later if you want to trade adventuring supplies. Don't try the meatballs, he warns, getting back to his search. You don't want to do that. Okay, we'll approach the village. An explosion almost takes off your head. Sorry about that, booms the boisterous pirate, lowering a smoking blunderbuss as bits of shattered tree rain down. New arrival, are we? Well, if you haven't got a tail, you're all right by me. He squints, more momentarily suspicious. You don't have a tail, do you? Wouldn't put it past one of the thieving little buggers to go shaving one of their own. Wouldn't know fair play if it kicked him up right in the arse. His voice is louder than his blunderbuss. The congealed meat juices in his beard are better not considered. Ew. Gross. I guess we can dine with the captain. All are welcome to share the pirate's wealth, provided they have the stomach for it and the table manners. That's gonna give us some menaces, isn't it? We're gonna get some terror out of this too, aren't we? A toast to a forsaken yesterday. The boisterous pirate clears his throat, and all go quiet, and he stands. To enduring majesty he shouts to the ever-shining lights of home. A cheer rises as the pirates raise their mug, drain them dry, but there's something quiet in their silence. They have long decided that what they have done here disqualifies them from ever walking on Wolfstack docks, from singing in the Mandrake, and from meeting the eyes of those they loved. It is not fear that keeps them from asking the visiting captain for safe passage back home. It is agreement. Unanimous. The boisterous pirate slams his hands together in an echoing slap. Amen, he declares, so everyone reaches for the meats that have them salivating so. We gain some terror. Back to the boat, I guess. The Z is quiet, the journey is pleasantly uneventful. You have not been eaten by cannibal pirates, all things considered, a successful trip. Explorations complete. Perhaps you could use the information you've gleaned to prepare a comprehensive port report. Few have reason to brave the waters this far east, especially with the trade embargo. The Admiralty will pay especially well for up-to-date intelligence. We also get 100 fragments for that. Nice. Nice. Solid. The islands of the Empire, all of them warrant further attention. For now, though, it would be best to see if your initial discoveries can whet the interest of anyone back home. And that's it. That's all we have to do here for now. We're going to continue heading south. Oh, wait. There's a trade embargo, right? Oh, right. Let's not shop here at the extraordinarily expensive monkey store. I will be back in a few moments, hopefully at our next location, which is way south. Like, way south. We might hit something between here and there. Possibly. I think we should. I'm pretty sure there's one thing between us and there. We'll find out. But other than that, I will see you all shortly. Okay. We are back. We are not where we're supposed to be just yet, but there is the gaunt pole here, which is something that we should probably take a quick peek at. Oh, right. I don't know. There it is. Shuttleboard. I was a little bit off. I don't know why I didn't see it just south of us. The Gant pole. Gaunt pole? Anyways, we're at Shableport. Shableport? This is the Chelenate. A shell as big as a wild dream. The Chelenate waves lap at the slabby sides of a vast turtle shell bigger than any cathedral. Waves lap at the shabby... Oh, we did that. Chelanates loaf on wooden docks around the shell sides, staring sullenly. Lamps hang like decorations in a festive butcher's window. All around you, the sea is rank with scraps of ancient flesh. Port report? No matter what details you try to record, the stench creeps in around the edges of the sentences. The Chelanate's watchful despite the rank movement across the miasmic scraps of long-abandoned monster carcass. Frequent duels where the stink is thickest. Ugh. Gross. An opportunity from the redolent flesh merchant. Even the Chelanate's hardy folk keep their distance. They want a meat from the gaunt pole. The flesh. He slithers, drill pouring from between his rotted teeth. The gaunt pole, where the breathies die, bring flesh. We sell it to the turtle earth, fresher meat. Biggest moneyeth to make. The gaunt pole is said to be deep underwater, mostly by sailors who do not believe it truly exists. So, we don't have a submarine yet. Tales for the bone. Someone is crying. Unusual wares follow the sounds. We can bring him a tale, but we can't, because we don't have... we have Z-stories. We don't have a memoir of Glory's Bones. But what we do have is nothing that we want to buy. Super. I guess that's it for this place. We got our port report. We got some creepy dude that wants us to get some flesh from beneath the ground, which is weird, but not entirely unexpected. And we are off yet again. It's time to continue our journey. Oh, something's happening. Burning blue. A hiss of horror from the lookout. The glim lamp at the front of the ship is sputtering and arcing, fizzing with blue light. Even as you watch, the blue fades, but it's not a good omen. We could Z-story this thing. Actually, our hearts are pretty good. There's a perfectly natural explanation. We succeeded in our challenge. We gained a fragment. The darkness underneath is more than the absence of light. It's a physical presence which distorts the shape of the world. Your light melts the darkness, restoring sanity to the world. You explain something of this to your sailors. It's not the first time they've heard it, but they seem slightly less nervous. Our ship is doing blue light things, and that's actually kind of a bad thing, but it's fine. Everything's going to be just fine. We're going to continue south, and I'll be back as soon as we reach the place we want to reach. Okay, this is the place we were looking for. Huge, imposing stone fortress. It is grim. There are statues in the water with fists and hands, and I don't know what that is sticking out of it. But this is where we have come. King Eater's Castle, it's called. Not exactly the most welcoming of places, that is for sure. Echoes stalk you through the colonnades. King Eater's Castle. An old veracity lives here in the far reaches of the sea. Well, first of all, let's stand at the altar with the gnomic Gallivant. He has powdered one of his rubies, and is sprinkling it into a vial of wine. It's time, Captain. A man out of time. He downs the vial and begs your pardon. Before you can ask what for, he's bent double in a violent coughing fit. You kneel beside him, his eyes are wide but unseeing, his lips trembling. He retches, his teeth are stained vivid red. Master Bourdain, he croaks. It is done. The College of Mortality is one less. We had help. A London captain. He pauses, listening. You hear nothing but the Gallivant smiles. Oh, that is very just. Is there anything? Yes. Yes, I will anticipate them. The Gallivant blinks and laughs. He grins at you, his tongue cleaning the red from his teeth. My master is a man guided by his principles. Liberty, equality, eternity. If his plans are achieved, you will be among the first to receive immortality. I hope we'll meet again, then. We gain a secret, an extraordinary implication, and a promise of liberty, equality, and eternity. There are no shops here, by the way. Not a single one. But let's go do stories. The Sixth Witness. A woman in rags stands on the battlements, staring to the east. We can also lose our mind, but we can't do that. We can offer stories, but it's a 50-50. Or we can well, let's do a report first. It's not really an appropriate title for a formal report, is it? Let's find something a little more clinical. Everything is horrible. Alright, the witness. Startled by your approach, I am sorry, I didn't expect anyone else to be here. Sit with me. No, do not look east. I only dare because I know I will see nothing like the five before me. It is my first time at Z. We do not get out much. But you must have traveled far to end up here. Tell me your stories. You barely begin before she interrupts. How about the Gaunt Pole? They say there they see the future. If you go, could you ask what the seventh will witness? I happily give my life to prepare the ground, but to know would be the greatest of honors. Okay, so we'll ask about that later. We don't have the... Oh, we have those. We need more terror, but not too much more terror to do the act of a burning fate. Interesting. Cool. Well, we're gonna leave. That's all we had to do here. We are going to go the long, arduous journey back across the Z to London now. It's time to go turn in support reports, drop off our strategic report, and go from there. We're gonna try and maybe find the Cat Island on the way. We'll see how that goes. Our terror is okay, so we're fine in that regard, but we have a long journey ahead of us. So, I will leave you guys here, and I'll be back when we reach something cool or London, depending on what comes first. See you guys shortly. We are back once again. We arrived in Mangrove College, which is on the Melting Isles. A steaming sprawl of parasynthetic vegetation, and a village, barely a village, old walls, roofs in disrepair, stilts leaning dangerously. It looks to have been assembled by drunks in a hurry. We can engage an officer, maybe's daughter. We'll definitely do that. Hello, where are you headed? On second thoughts? I don't mind. Can I come aboard? Yes, I'm an engineer, but I'm an engineer in a hurry. I will take you along. Maybe's daughter. If anyone comes looking for me, well, I'm not accepting callers. Can I trust you to pass that on? I don't want them distracting me from my duties. We're going to appoint her as a new person. We can get a passenger. Excellent. Let's get a passenger. The Mangrove College is named for its scholars and philosophers. They have long abandoned civilized comforts for the life of the mind. Sometimes they want those civilized comforts back. We got a shady sort. The Corsair's Forest, please. Guider's Mourn. No, I'm not in a hurry, but I think I might stay below decks. I don't carry the fee on me. You'll have to trust me for when we arrive. Thank you. A pleasure. You suck. Let us gather supplies. That's a good idea. We gained 4 supplies. Damn, that's a lot of supplies. More than I anticipated. Your crew strips the stretch of shoreline bare. It'll have burgeoned again by next week, no doubt. Let's get a port report. Sages, scholars, philosophers, naturalists, poets, dreamers, here to pursue their rarefied ideals in a land of mudded fecundity. Fecundity? Something like that. All shall be well. The thinkers of Mangrove College continue their untroubled and sedentary existence. New schools of philosophy are born and die like bubbles. Extraordinary poetries are written in water. The occasional retired pirate tries and fails to get invited to salons. We gained a supply, and we are now officially out of here. We are running low on fuel. That's the problem we're at right now. We're going to head straight this way. Man, Guider's Mourn's so far away. I liked the game where it was here. That was much easier. We might have to stop in Khan's Heart or Khan's Throne? Crown? Something like that over here to get some more expensive fuel, but we might need that because we might run out of fuel on our way home. Yeah, it's looking pretty grim. We will end the video here though, and in the next video we'll continue on our journey. Like always, if you have any suggestions or comments, please leave them below. Others, I'll see you all next time. Take care.